this video, I'm going to be reviewing Super Mario 64. Something I want you to make note of is that I did 100% beat Super Mario 64, meaning I got all 120 stars. Let's start the review. Super Mario 64 is extremely dated and it has several problems, but even with its several problems, it's still a fun game. Mario 64 is the first 3D Mario game, and man, they have nailed it. Mario 64 has pretty basic movement, with the moves being jumping, double jumping, triple jumping, side jump, backflip, diving, ground pound, kicking, grabbing, throwing enemies, and a scuffed wall jump. I'm not saying that the game having basic movement is bad, and actually at the time Mario 64 came out, which was 1996, this game's movement was revolutionary. I do need to say that the wall jump is pretty scuffed, because some of the walls count as walls, and some don't, and you need already built up momentum to wall jump. I think the rest of the movement system is fine. A massive negative point I want to mention is that Mario 64's physics are trash. They just suck. I know that this game came out in 1996, but I still can't change the fact that I dislike the physics, and I know that all the speedrunners are going to disagree with me on the physics being trash, but from a regular playthrough point of view, and ignoring the fact that the game came out in 1996, the physics are trash. Another massive negative point I need to mention is that the camera sucks. It simply does not cooperate with you in making sure you can see what's going on. It feels like the game is working against you and trying to make sure that you can't tell what's going on. Again, I know this game came out in 1996, but I can't change the fact that I hate the camera. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the power caps. There's 3 power caps in the game, with the wing cap giving you the ability to glide, and the metal cap giving you the ability to walk underwater, not get pushed away by a water current, and you one-hit enemies. The invisibility cap, which prevents enemies from seeing you and allowing you to walk through walls. The wing cap's flying mechanics suck. They're just bad. Like, they're just plain bad. You can't control Mario very well, and he gets a speed boost if you push the left stick up and down too much, which makes controlling Mario even harder. All the other caps work just fine. Although the caps seem like a cool mechanic, except for the wing cap, the caps are very underused, and it feels like they were just shoehorned into the game. When I say the caps are underused, I truly do mean they are underused. And the caps only get used 5 times. 5 whole times throughout the entire game. I would have liked to see the caps get used more, except for the wing cap, and maybe even have more caps in the game. So how Mario 64 is laid out is that there's areas, and then there's worlds, and then there's 7 stars in that world. Unless it's a boss level, then there's only going to be 2 stars. You would think that you would be forced to get the stars in order, but you're not completely restrained to a linear order of getting the stars. To be clear, I'm not saying that this game has no linear order, because in order to move on to the next area, you need a certain amount of stars. I think that it is cool that there's a somewhat non-linear order to the stars. The objective for each star is usually reach here and then you get the star. Sometimes you have to fight a boss or kill certain enemies in an area, or you could be flying through coin rings. Each level does have a 8 red coin star, which is where there's 8 red coins spread throughout the level. Or I mean, sometimes they're not spread throughout the level, they're in a single room, but you get the point. And you have to get all 8 red coins to get the star. When I say that the 8 red coin stars in every level, I do mean every level, including the boss levels. There's also the 100 coin star, which is in every level except for boss levels. And I found the 100 coin star to be tedious and repetitive. I did find the 8 red coin star to be a bit repetitive, but I didn't find it as annoying as the 100 coin star. Something important I want to mention is that I think the first half of this game is significantly better than the second half. The reason why I think the first half of the game is better than the second half is because the second half of the game is way more annoying than the first half, and in the second half of the game, game, some of the worlds let you control some attribute about them, and for some of the worlds this was annoying, and for some of them it was just fine. And there's also there's like a difficulty curve kind of sort of for some of the worlds, whereas previously that difficulty curve wasn't there. And it was kind of weird, the difficulty curve that occurred in the second half of the game with some of the stars and not with some of the other stars in the second half of the game, and along with the difficulty spike not being there in the first half of the game. And to be clear, I'm not saying that this game is like hard, but some of the stars are like, whoa, this is hard. A positive point I want to mention is that I really like the aesthetic of the levels. I think Nintendo did a good job making the levels look nice with these ancient polygons. I know this game is pretty old and therefore the graphics don't look that great, but I'm okay with the fact that the graphics aren't that good. It's time to give the score. I'm giving Super Mario 64 a 3 out of 5. The reason I'm not giving it a higher score is because of the fact that I think the second half of the game is super annoying and the physics and the camera suck. That's about it. See ya.